Welcome, everyone, to the Art of Rising. And as you know, we're always on the lookout for great guests, and we happen to have found a very, very interesting one right here. And, she offers quite a number of things. Her bio is quite diverse and tons of experience, man. So pay attention to this one. And we're also having a men's retreat. So if you could stick around to the end, we can help you out a little bit with that. So, yes, so welcome to the show, and I'll just allow her to introduce herself and tell us where you're living and what are you doing with yourself these days.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. What an honor it is for me to be here, definitely. My name is Blanca. I'm the owner and CEO of Wounded Healer LLC. And under this umbrella, we offer very diverse services that have to do with improving quality of life, no matter what age we are. And under this umbrella, I offer massage therapy services, focusing on the medical aspect of massage therapy for over 20 years. I'm a certified canine massage therapist for 9 years already. I've been a holistic life coach for five plus years. I've been some kind of a group fitness instructor and retired professional dancer for over 40 years. I'm a speaker. I'm an author, an educator, and definitely the most important part of this is absolutely loving what I do. I love that I share my journey with all of my clients, and it's not only about seeing the clients grow and feel better, but I see growth within myself with the progress of my clients. So definitely it's a win-win situation. I am located here in South Florida. I've been here for over 20 years and very happy to be here tonight.
Oh my God, that's incredible. So many things. I love that. I love that. Just the other day, I seen like this bio of Christopher Lee, right? And he was always the bad guy in all the movies, right? And we always love the bad guy for some reason. Like we like the Joker better than Batman, right? But they were showing like his life, like he was in the military. He started a rock band. He's in major motion pictures. Like he's written, like he died at 92. And I'm like, that's the way you want to go.
It's a very diverse life. Yes.
Leave empty. Leave empty. Leave empty.
Yeah. Let no stones unturned. That's for sure.
That's right. So why don't you tell us like what has led you to become a holistic life coach?
Well, what led me to become a holistic life coach is my vast experience on helping people in other areas of their life. Me, myself, I have a life coach, and definitely it helps me with accountability. A life coach helps me take me where I want to go with certain goals in my life. So it's basically life coach. What does a coach do for, let's say, professional athletes? What does a coach do for celebrities, for actors, for movie stars, for theater people? Is help them keep in track with what they want to do and with the progress they want to do in life. So life coaching is very, very important. I would highly recommend to everybody to have a life coach or venture into having a good life coach somehow in their lives, because you know what? Once you try one, you will never want to go without. There's always support and accountability with a life coach. And definitely that's one of the biggest reasons I became one. And it's a wonderful thing. Very grateful to do that.
As I go through this life, I meet lots of people and I have friends and all that. And then this thing started coming up about life coaches. I was like, man, I don't need a life coach. Why would I need that for? And then I started doing things in my life. And then I go, man, I need help with this.
Exactly. Exactly. The biggest reason why I definitely hired the services of a life coach is because I needed to restructure many areas of my life and get to succeed in certain goals that I just definitely was like, okay, I'll just do it. It will be done. It will be done. But then you put it in the back burner and then time really flies. So it was definitely time to keep on getting out of that comfort zone and say to myself, okay, It's time to reach that goal as soon as possible, and I cannot do it alone. And the one thing that I highly recommend the most is exactly that. Don't do it alone. Definitely. Hmm.
Right, right. No person is an island unto themselves. No, no.
Right.
You know,
Right.
or the self-made man. Like,
Hmm.
those are myth. No way.
There is no such thing as self-made anything. You can't.
Right.
I mean, there's always some
Mm,
support that you will receive somehow in order to take it to the next level. Because otherwise, if you want to do everything on your own, like I tried for a very long time, you will get somewhere, but you're gonna plateau because without
mm,
help, you won't be able to continue growing and continue with that path of success on whatever goal you may have.
Was there a defining moment, or was it a series of things? Where you awakened to your holistic healing?
Definitely, it was a series of things, and
Mm.
this is when, I mean, there's a lovely phrase that I absolutely love that it says, "We plan and God laughs." Well, I had many plans in my life, and I definitely succeeded in quite a few of them. Having a lot of longevity when it comes to be a group fitness instructor, massage therapist, and all of these things. But I wanted to put something together that will help others improve their
Mm,
quality of life, not only in the massage therapy aspect, but in fitness. And life coaching had everything to do to go into that circle, go into it is, oh my God, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like conquer that those different points. You put all the pieces of the puzzle together, and life
mm,
coaching was the biggest help for me to put all the pieces of the puzzle together as a whole and
mm,
continue with this journey of not only my growth but helping some other people grow in
mm,
whatever aspect in their lives they feel like they have plateaued. Because I did plateau, and it was because, here we go again, I wanted to do everything on my own, and it's just not real, folks. It is not. It's not. Mhm.
Right. So when someone comes to you, what do you normally focus on? Like the mind, body, spirit, emotions? Um,
Well, when my clients come to me, the first thing that I ask, which is the most important part, is, what do you want?
the root cause.
And the root cause is, what do you want? And a lot of people, when they get asked this question, it can be very heavy for them. It's like, what do I want? I
Mm.
want to hit the lotto.
Yeah.
And yeah. The first one of the many things that I have heard repeatedly from different people is like, oh, I want to hit the lotto. Okay, besides hitting the lotto, besides things, this is wanting things. But what do you want
Mm,
for yourself? It's a
mm,
very different ball game from,
mm,
what do you want? I mean, do you want a pair of shoes? Do you want to make a lot of money? Of course, everybody wants a new pair of shoes and make a lot of money. But what is it that you want to do for the
mm,
rest of your
mm,
life?
mhm, mhm, mhm,
What big goal have you put in hold?
mm,
Because like a certain client that I have, that
mm,
she gave birth at a very young age, but she always wanted to be a bodybuilder.
mm,
She had
mm,
4 kids. So
mm,
in the midst of having 4 kids, there was a lot of distractions. There's a lot of detours, of course, with raising kids, being a
mm,
business owner, but she still had this dream of
mm, mm,
becoming a bodybuilder. So what did she
mhm,
go ahead and do? She hired the services of a life coach,
mhm,
and she is right now, she is going to go to competition 2 weeks from now, and she is almost in her 50s. And she
mm,
has built up into the bodybuilder she dreamed of for a very long time.
mm.
And this is when her
Wow.
life coaching and accountability partnering
Mhm,
really came into play. And I cannot
mm,
be more proud of her, definitely.
mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think about that for myself too, and some of the things that I want. Like I ask myself, what do you want? And then I know some things, I'm getting more and more clear on it, right? And they
Hmm.
say, well, people do believe that the more clear you are, the more you receive that thing, right? So
Absolutely.
it's like universal laws, they say.
Hmm.
So when
Hmm.
you make a request out into the universe, to God, or to whatever that thing
Hmm.
is, and say, I want to be rich, it kind of like looks around and go, what? Okay, here's
What
food,
kind of
or
rich?
here's,
Yeah.
yeah, here's
What
clothes
kind of
on your
richness
back.
do you want? What is the
Yeah.
meaning of you wanting to be rich?
Mm-hmm.
Rich like what? You got
Mm-hmm.
to really go really into the full detail of what you really want in
Mm-hmm.
order for it to happen. Clarity of intention is power. And the
Mm-hmm.
more detail we are in what we want in life, the more possibilities we will see. And definitely, this life is not about just saying, I want this, and the magic one will do cha-ching, and you will have this. It's about working hard. It's about getting out
Mm-hmm.
of your comfort zone. It's about
Mm-hmm.
letting go of things that are not conducive to your success or reaching to these goals, and relating yourself more with what your goal is, and surrounding yourself with people and having relationships and community that are related to your focus of attention, to what is the goal that you want to achieve. Here we go again. Don't do it
Mm-hmm.
alone. That's
Right,
for
right.
sure. Hmm.
The community, right? Because we're big.
Yes.
We are the Omziel Healing Sanctuary. Actually, here we're in North Bergen, New Jersey, and
Love it.
that's what we focus on. Me and my wife have a private practice here, and we work with many different things. Energy work and
Love it.
the breath work, and an ice plunge is
Hmm.
our staple, right? So this is
Love
the
it.
one that pushes people into the present moment because we spend too much time
Hmm.
thinking about, oh, what that guy told me, or when I see that guy, what I'm gonna say, which none of those two are really true. No, it's just a
Right.
perspective is one, and the other one you don't even know that that's gonna. It usually doesn't happen like that, right?
Exactly. And definitely, we base ourselves a lot in assumptions, assuming that this is going to happen, assuming this is what they thought, assuming things that we have no idea of. And when we live a life based on assuming, it really doesn't take us much of anywhere.
Mhm,
We got to stick to the facts. We got to stick to our realities and not go with assumption. Do not make
mhm,
assumptions. And
mhm,
definitely breath work, that is something that I practice a lot in all of my professions. I
mhm,
used to do massage therapy for patients in rehab centers for drug abuse and alcohol abuse,
mhm,
and
mhm,
breath work was really a great helper, not only for myself as a
mhm,
therapist, but I will practice breath work with my patients as well, because unfortunately, almost 100% of these patients all comes from some kind of trauma that they had in their lives. That's why, I mean,
mhm.
addiction is just the icing of the cake when it comes to
Right.
that. It goes comes from
Mhm,
some kind of trauma that they live in their lives. And what I saw with almost, I don't know, I worked on thousands of people in my years there. It was shallow breathing at all times.
mhm,
I mean, the word of the day for most of these patients and most of everybody nowadays is stress.
mhm,
Stress is way too glorified. People don't like it, but they're talking about it
mhm,
all the time. And if there's
mhm,
something that people are embracing way too much, is how quick everything is going. Life is too
mhm,
quick,
mhm,
too
mhm,
short, too shallow, and the shallow breathing, it doesn't help anybody. I mean, shallow breathing relates to stress, relates to heart attacks, relates to high blood pressure. It
mhm,
relates to a lot of things that really can take us deep down a rabbit hole that we don't want to go to.
mhm,
And definitely, breath work has been, to me, it has been one of the most
mhm,
powerful and quickest ways to
mhm.
calm down the senses.
Yes, yes, for
Imagine
sure.
that, something as simple as important as
Mhm,
breath work, we
mhm.
cannot go without breathing.
Yeah,
We don't have a life. So
right. That's right.
thank you for that. That is a wonderful
Yes,
practice that you guys do. It's beautiful. I love it.
it is. It is. It's super powerful too, right? In
Hmm.
fact, it's one of the most powerful tools we have, and it's sitting right under our nose, right there.
Right.
It's
Isn't
just
that the
the breath,
truth?
the breath,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
in our studies, we've learned that the frontal cortex here of the brain, this is the monkey mind, the one that makes, it's the security system. Like, watch
Right.
out, don't do that, don't swim in deep water with sharks, But then
Exactly.
it starts to go into other parts of our lives, like, oh, don't write that book. Don't
Mm-hmm.
start that podcast. Don't start that company. What if you fail? People don't like you, you know. And then we
Yeah.
start listening to that. But with
Yeah.
the breath work, it quiets the monkey mind. It quiets it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It goes fast at first because it's the
Mm-hmm.
security system. Like, why are you breathing hard? Why? Who's chasing us? What's gonna? But just if you just keep
Right.
going and push through it,
Mm-hmm.
man, tremendous breakthroughs. We've had
Yes.
people here doing breath work and they just like break down and cry. They just unfold right
Yes,
there.
absolutely. So powerful. It,
Beautiful.
it
They let
it
go.
quiets, it definitely quiets the noise. I work at a wellness center and they do medically supervised ketamine treatments for people with PTSD, recovering addicts, and so on and so forth. And one of the most important things that we do that I practice with them is breath work and a short meditation. But breath work is even more powerful than meditation. I go with the
Mm,
breath works, like the diaphragmatic breath work, and then followed by a short meditation, and it eases the
mm,
patient down
yeah.
in a fast and a tremendous way. It's very, very admirable. I
Mm,
honor that
mm.
tremendously.
Yeah.
Breathing, how
I know.
powerful is
I know.
to breathe
Yeah.
and to
Yeah.
be mindful of our breath work.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
We do some integration after we do the breath work, and people come
Hmm.
out with these fantastic stories.
I
Like they
love
see
it.
colors, shapes, they see the disco ball, they see
Mm.
purple, they see shapes, and then every now and then people come out with these stories and they say, I was back in the fifth grade with Miss
Oh my God.
McGillicuddy. And what, yeah, and I
Wow.
remember I forgot about that, but it came up and what she told me. And then oftentimes they see that that's one of the things that is stopping them from doing things in their life, or something that they
Mm.
should pursue, you know.
So they
So
have
it's beautiful.
breakthroughs. It's amazing. It's amazing to have breakthroughs in the most in a very safe environment and doing
Mm,
something as profound as with the work that you guys do. It's phenomenal.
yeah. And how
Mhm.
about yourself? What are the healing modalities that you use, or the tools, in any given session?
In any given session, I it depends on the needs of the client. I gotta be very open to what their belief system is. It's very important to go deep within that, not just to throw information. You're gonna do this because I say so. No, let's work this out together in a way that it makes you feel at ease. Because with
Mm,
life coaching, a lot of people, they come with goals that and or situations that they haven't succeed at, and in many occasions it has everything to do with untreated childhood trauma. So it gets pretty profound and pretty deep in there, and depending on their needs, then I would say do recommendations. But
mm,
breath work, we don't go without breathing. And breathing
mm,
has nothing to do with a certain religion or certain beliefs that we may have. It all has to do with the full benefits that breathing
mm,
properly can do for our minds, our bodies, and our souls. That is
mm,
for
mm,
sure.
mm,
And I recommend a lot physical activity. If you
mm,
cannot do any physical activity for whatever reason may be, go outside and walk for 15 minutes. It gives you clarity of mind. It
mm,
defogs your senses. If you are mentally exhausted, it will give you a new breather. Go outside and look at the bird, at the tree, at the car. I don't know, whatever
mm,
it is that
mm,
that you do, but
mm,
it is good for resetting your mindset. So that has worked
wow.
wonders for quite a bit of clients. And then any kind of physical activity is always good for you. It helps you
Mhm,
with defogging your mind, with new
mhm,
ideas, with your heart rate. It helps you with your muscle
mm,
mass. As
mm,
we age,
mm,
keeping our muscle mass is imperative. It's
mhm,
vital
mm,
for quality
mhm,
of life on the long term for our elder years. When we go to our
mm,
elder years, and the
mm,
more physical activity we have, the better we will be, no matter what
mm,
age we are. So I do quite a
mm,
bit of recommendations. If it's with
mm,
people, for example, that they've been having issues with losing weight, You
mm,
cannot tell them you're going to go 5 times a week and do an hour of exercise, because they will give up without even starting. Because in many occasions, people are really terrified to go to a gym. And that
mhm,
is the
mhm,
absolute truth. But on the other hand, if you start with 5 minutes, if you start with 10 minutes, if you have a dog, go walk your dog for 15 minutes. That is physical activity.
right.
There's so
Mm.
much more and so much variety that can be offered, but this is tailored to the needs of each individual. One size never fits all, definitely.
Yeah, we often say that, that when you meet the guy who says, "I've got the shoe that fits everybody," stay away from
Mm,
that guy.
that's right. That's right. Absolutely.
So, as the owner and the founder of the Wounded Healer, perhaps you could tell me a little bit about some powerful transformational stories from some clients, without mentioning any names, naturally.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I had this phenomenal, lovely lady that she was having major issues with procrastination. Procrastination is, hey, plain and simple, leaving everything for later and later and later and later. Procrastination, according to researchers, procrastination is a form of depression.
Mm,
And yes, and then this is when we went deeper within why, what is going on, that you are so deep down that rabbit hole of procrastination, of leaving everything for later and later and later. Well, it took her straight to untreated childhood trauma. She
mm,
lost her father at a very young age under very difficult circumstances, and she didn't want to deal with many things that will make her feel overwhelmed, because when her dad died, she felt like she had nobody for support.
mm,
So and then that's what led her to procrastination, and many years later she is definitely a highly organized human being.
mm,
She has a full list of things to do on a daily basis. She is much more organized, because with procrastination, she felt that she was very deorganized with her lifestyle. And nowadays, she is not only a very big fan of planning, she has a planner. She never had a planner before. So she
mm,
feels like she's much more organized than she's ever
mm,
been. And
mm,
definitely, she doesn't go without her planner. And it's a beautiful thing to admire the
mm,
results on your clients, because
mm,
with for me, helping others improve their quality of life, that is
mm,
my bigger
mm,
goal. And
mm, mm,
if I can learn something, and I always do learn something along the way, because we do learn from each other. This is not only me being the life coach and you
mm,
are the
mm,
client. No, we are hand in hand, joining forces, and most likely helping this person. And in many instances, what they do to improve themselves in a big way, it helps me improve myself, not only as a professional but as a human being. And I take it very, very seriously. And just
mm,
like I
mm,
said before, I never treat
mm, mm.
like a one size fits all. I make
Right.
another,
Mm,
I make a lot of questions. And this is the thing,
mm,
the more questions you're asked, the more
mm,
you should keep that person. And
right, right,
I am
right.
not here to put people in pedestals and make them feel comfortable. I am here to get them out of their comfort zones, so
Mm,
they can see and they can go to
mm,
the other side shining with their own light. So I
right.
mean, my experience with this woman is just phenomenal. And we
Mm.
started every single week, and then little by little it was every 2 weeks, and then once a month, and then and now she graduated. Yeah, she graduated. And
Mm. Okay.
she sees me as needed. Same way with a gentleman that I have, that he's my client.
Right.
He sees me as needed, and he was having
Mm,
major anxiety issues with being around crowds. And he is a businessman. He has many employees under his
mm,
wing, but still he
mm,
was having a very hard time being in crowds. And we went deeper within his
mm,
situation, and here we go again. It took him straight
mm,
to untreated childhood trauma. And
Right.
now he is definitely, he sees life with a different lens, but
Mm,
definitely he tried to do it alone all of
mm,
these years
mm, mm.
until he got tired of trying to do it all on his own.
Right.
And
Right.
it's noticeable how better his lifestyle is,
Mm,
how better he looks, he feels just by talking to him. He is a happier human being. He
mm,
knows what he wants. He is not afraid of being around crowds because he's not intimidated by the situation anymore. So yeah, it's pretty phenomenal and
mm,
remarkable,
mm,
the changes that we
mm,
see in our people as
mm,
life coaches that we are, and me having a life coach myself, because this is
mm,
the biggest part of being a life coach. You got to practice what you preach. And
mm,
it's like me saying, oh, you should get massages, but I don't receive one. Well, guess what?
mm,
I receive massages all the time.
mm,
And with life coaching, I do my job as a life coach, but I
mm,
receive life coaching
mm,
as well. And it's a
mm.
beautiful thing. It's a win win situation here.
Wow, that's great. That's phenomenal. And it makes me think that people usually don't grow up and go, "Hey, I want to be an alcoholic when I grow up," or
That's right.
"I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to shoot heroin when or I
Hmm.
want to use hard narcotics." They never say that. It's
No,
just
not at
they
all.
end up in those places, right? Which
Yeah.
which growing up too in Brooklyn and in the streets, my old man left
Hmm.
when I was 9. So the teenage years came and they were there with open arms. And I started being introduced to lots of things that hurt me.
Hmm.
And I ended up hurting myself and hurting other people around me until later
Hmm.
on I started to get help, just like you said. And people came to my aid and showed me, like, hey, you might want to try this. So like
Hmm.
I didn't hear anybody saying those things before, but if they did, I didn't want to hear it anyway. So
Right.
but when I was ready, then I
Hmm.
said, okay, I'm gonna come to the table, and there's something out there bigger than me that's
Yeah.
going to help me. And I had to submit, and bow down to, something that I thought, like, man, I don't need nobody. But yeah, I
Mhm.
did.
Yeah, yeah, I do relate to you a lot. I come from a very difficult childhood myself. I lost my father tragically and
Mm,
suddenly when I was 8 years old, and then my mother fell into a deep depression and she never recovered from it. This was the 70s, so mental health was never talked about and mental illnesses was highly demonized. So upon my father's death, I felt in a big way that I lost both of my parents because my mother really, really went into a horrible dark place and she really didn't recover from it at all. So it was a very isolating childhood, very confusing, very, very much a roller coaster ride. That's the name of my chapter, roller coaster ride, because it really
mm,
was in my life, because the ups were up, but the downs were absolutely horrendous. And then as
mm,
part of me growing up in all that trauma, I really went into very dark places and very dark seasons
mm,
myself. A lot of self-sabotage, a lot of self-destruction. And just like you said,
mm,
when I was ready and people
mm,
just offer help, I
mm,
understood. It's like, okay, it's time to grow up. It's time to stop being the victim of the situation and
mm,
really use these tools and use all of these difficult seasons in my life as fuel that
mm,
will
mm,
keep on inspiring me to
mm.
help others make it better for themselves. And this is why we
Right.
are here, you and I, right here, right now, because
That's right.
we know where we have been in life, but we know where we are and we know where we
Mm,
want to be. And
mm,
definitely, this is why I call my business Wounded Healer, because us
mm,
wounded healers, we are people that use our horrible seasons in our lives
mm,
as fuel to help others
mm,
improve their quality of life. And the beautiful work that you're doing, the work that I'm doing, definitely
mm.
is the biggest testimony to progress, that you are capable of progress, that your past does not define your future. And if you change your mindset, definitely your life will change as well.
Right. So the wounded healer. Thank you so much for sharing that personal story. It touched me so deeply, and wow, thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh,
And people
thank
need to
you.
hear that because they go through
Mhm.
things and they be like, Oh, nobody understands me. You could
Yeah.
throw a rock at somebody that will understand you,
Oh
and then
yeah,
it won't be far
absolutely.
away. You just
That's
have to
right.
speak up, you know.
Oh, you
So
may
at
be surprised. Yep.
Right, right. So
Hmm.
Wounded Healers, LLC, this business that you started here, it's mainly working with veterans that have been in the military.
I work with all sorts of clients, people
Mm,
that have been veterans, people that
mm,
are recovering from surgeries, recovering addicts, recovering alcoholics. I mean,
mm,
to me, the door is open to
mm,
everybody that is willing to help themselves to make those changes that they so very much need and deserve in life. But definitely the
mm.
ones that are willing to
Right,
help themselves, because we are just, I mean, we are the conduit. But if you don't help yourself, we can say 1,000 words and it
right.
will go to deaf ears. I can
Mm,
attest to that.
mm,
I was in that, I mean, I was in that kind
mm,
of realm myself for a very long time, that it didn't matter what anybody said. I just went ahead and
mm,
did whatever I did. But when I
mhm,
was ready to change, when I was tired
mm.
of being tired, when I was tired of what my redundant,
Yeah,
self-destructive
yeah,
lifestyle, it was
right.
time. It was time to say, okay, I am not going to do this alone, because I
Mm,
did that other thing alone on
mm,
my own
right.
enough. So
Yeah,
yes,
right.
yes, you got to be
And-
willing to make the
yeah.
change, and change will happen.
Yeah, and especially people that are pushed into some of these horrendous situations, horrific,
Hmm.
especially I think of the military, how noble that is to be helping people that, go and serve the country in any
Right.
capacity, and then they
Hmm.
experience, there's somebody out there like just providing, lunches
Hmm.
for somebody, and all of a sudden something breaks out in some foreign land, like, and
Right.
then to be put into that situation and to see these horrific
Hmm.
things, and then to
Yeah.
come back here, it's
Yeah.
like, what do you
Hmm.
do now? Like, I know there's lots
Exactly.
of breakthroughs with different medicines, right?
Hmm.
I know with MDMA, that's helping people on a deep level, and I know
Hmm.
psilocybin is also helping people in
Hmm.
therapeutic settings too. And then you also mentioned ketamine, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now that's is that not an animal tranquilizer, or it was used
Um,
for that or something like that?
Well, ketamine has been demonized for a very long time, because
Mm,
just like anything that is used in excess is going to be equally harmful. But
exactly.
when ketamine is applied with the help of the professionals, then the effects will be a whole different story.
Right,
Here in
right.
Florida,
Mm,
for someone to be a strong ketamine, have the potential to receive a
candidate.
ketamine, yeah, it has, they have to be a candidate. And first of all,
Mhm.
they have to go through a psychiatric evaluation. They have to
Mm,
be approved. They have to go through testing, a lot of blood work. They have to, I mean,
mm,
it's a process
mm,
before they even
mm.
go to the room to receive their first treatment. So it's
Wow.
very regulated, and I am
Right,
very grateful that it is that regulated, because
right,
nowadays, of course, there are unfortunately people that are highly addicted to ketamine. But
right,
it's I mean, it's just like with everything. You do anything in life too
right,
much is
right, right.
equally harmful. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
it makes me think of a gentleman who had made tremendous breakthroughs with that particular substance. His name escapes me, but he said that he was frequently going, like just testing it on himself, and he was
Hmm.
documenting lots of things, to help people so they can know. And
Hmm.
and it was psychoactive, and he would going to these other places, and he reported that these entities had told him, listen, you either stay here with us or go back, but you're not going to keep coming back. and
Oh
and
my
and
God.
and that was it. He said that was the last one for him. He wanted to be with his
Yeah.
wife. He didn't want to stay over there.
That's right. That's
but
right.
but
So
but the
yeah.
information that he took down, like, helped people like for decades, man, just to
Hmm.
map some of that powerful substance.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I always say that when a substance, any substance, can be that powerful on you, you should go to the right people
Mm-hmm.
to do these things with. I had only one ketamine treatment, but I made sure that I'm not going to go down the street and ask anybody for ketamine when I don't know what is going to go to my bloodstream, how my brain is going to
Right.
react to this very powerful drug, because this is a psychedelic. It's a psychedelic drug. So it has to be very highly regulated. I'm very grateful that is that highly regulated here,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
even though as highly regulated as it is, people still abuse it. People still get it in
Right.
the black market,
Yeah.
because as anything, there's always going to be whatever it is that if you want something,
Mm-hmm.
you will go get it,
Yep.
and you will get it no matter what.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. I can attest to that. I did many things
Mhm.
in my life that says like, oh, you are telling me that they don't have that now. I'll go get it somewhere else, and I
Right.
always did. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But the one thing that
Mm.
I really appreciate about ketamine and these substances is that when they are regulated properly, it can
Mm.
have very good effects on people. I have
Yeah.
seen patients that they feel much better, patients that
Mm.
are
Mm.
military personnel, unfortunately, that they have
Mm.
situations with PTSD, psychotic
Mhm.
reactions.
Right.
I
Right.
have seen women with terrible PTSD because
Mm.
being in a relationship that it was highly abusive, that it was physically
Mm.
abusive, emotionally
Mm.
abusive, and it
Mm.
creates a lot of trauma,
Mm.
sexual assault
Mm.
survivors as well. So it
Right.
depends. And just like
Right.
anything,
Mm.
no one size fits all.
Right.
This is not for
Right.
everybody,
Um,
and highly recommended to go to the
mm.
professionals first and foremost.
Right, right. It makes me
Mhm.
think of James Fadiman. He's made tremendous breakthroughs too. He was doing research like in the 70s when they had stopped everybody, like as illegal. He was continuing the work too.
Yeah.
And he has this protocol for microdosing psilocybin, but he's written a tremendous book also. I can't remember it. I have it over there. But talking about LSD and
Hmm.
also the MDMA for PTSD.
Mm,
Like there is tremendous, tremendous results, man, and
yeah,
that's where they're trying to fight the legislation to try to release that, especially for people who serve in the military. Like
absolutely.
it's
Hmm.
so powerful and so
Yes, it
helpful.
is. Yes, it is. And just like you said, I mean, the microdosing, that is the most important part here. Microdosing
Mm.
can really help you and not harm you, okay?
Mm-hmm,
Versus
mm-hmm,
doing a lot of anything at the first
mm.
try, then that can be a very dangerous game to play. Oh, yeah.
That's how
Hmm.
we are humans. We think like, oh, more is better. It's that
Yeah,
way.
and no, less is more.
Right. So, why don't you tell us now about the book that you've written here, The Impact Leadership with Blanca E. Rodriguez. Tell us
Yes.
about it. What does it what are we saying here and how is it helping people?
Yes, this is my book, Impact Leadership with Blanca E.
Mm,
Rodriguez, available in Amazon Kindle and paperback. And this is me collaborating with 29 other co authors from all over the world, from all walks of life.
mm,
And the similarities, what we share in this powerful book, is our stories of going deep down the rabbit hole, going through experiences that can make us, break us, or
mm,
both, and
mm,
making it to the other side with
mm,
hope, resiliency, compassion, and the most important part, belief. So yes,
mm,
it's a very
mm,
powerful book. I highly recommend it to everybody. If you have a story to tell, I mean, it took me 47 years of silence to
mm,
write a chapter in a book and get published. And when I telling you that parts of my story, my siblings, they knew about my story for the first time through a
mm,
chapter of a book. So
Oof.
I broke the silence finally with this chapter, and it's one of the most empowering things that I ever done in my life. And I became a best-selling book co-author, but definitely it was one of those miracles that has been in the making for a very, very long time. And I said, I don't know how many times I said to myself, I was like, damn, I have so many secrets in my life. I could make a book
Mm,
about it. And
mm,
it became a reality. And I'm very grateful to be sharing my story because it definitely can help someone.
mm,
Definitely.
mm. So is it just for people who have been, who've gone through some traumas or know someone basically,
It
you
can
know?
be for anybody and everybody because definitely many of these stories it comes from a man that lost his dad when he was 15 years old to his dad committing suicide. It
Mm,
comes from this woman that she in Ukraine, no, in Romania, she was working on the fields with her
mm,
family, and then all of a sudden they got separated, and she didn't see
mm,
them for a very long time, and they
mm.
reunited. So it's in many stories of
Wow.
many situations with all these people that they've been in life. There's a
Mm,
story about this woman that she was going to make it to the Olympics, but a catastrophic fall
mm,
stopped her from joining the Olympic team, but God had other plans for her, and
mm,
it became a story of triumph. So very,
mm.
very powerful stories there, definitely.
Lots of support there in those stories,
Absolutely.
and very, very helpful. I could
Hmm.
see, I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. I mean, we're going to leave all that information in the show notes. That way people can go directly over there. And are you
Absolutely.
doing any, are you, these talks that you're giving, are they all, they're based on some of these facts concerning the traumas that people go through in the healing process and the company
Yes,
in connection
absolutely.
with the book as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. I speak to the general public about the powerful and great effects that massage therapy can do in our lives, about group fitness, about wellness, about trauma, about healing, about compassion, about making it in make it through and make it better in this world for all of us. And life is about second chances. So second chances, no, third, fourth, and fifth chances too. So yes, it's all. I mean, many of my. I mean, the things that I speak the most about is resiliency, hope, and never giving up, and
Mm,
giving us
mm,
the chance to change our lives because we
mm,
are all capable of change and definitely for the
mm,
better.
definitely. That's what we're all about. That's what this podcast is. It's the art
Yes,
of rising. It's like there's an art to it. Like we should learn
absolutely,
some of the tools and how is it that we get
absolutely,
there. Sometimes
absolutely.
it takes times. It's not a straight line
Mhm.
to something or like the 6 minute abs or no, it's not like that. Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like
Oh, you're gonna have
yeah,
abs in 6 minutes. Nah, that's not true.
right. That's not true. No,
You're
it's
gonna
like
multiply those 6 minutes by a lot. Yeah.
right. And then if it does come,
Easy
easy
go.
go. That's it. It'd
That's
be gone. There's
right.
nothing sustainable that's
Hmm.
there. So,
Yeah.
so what about some of the things that you help people with on the daily rituals? When you're helping people in a wellness lifestyle in order for them to rise, what are some of the daily things that you would suggest?
The daily things that I do suggest, and this definitely, is catered for each individual need. But one of the most powerful things that we can do, and I am so happy to be here to say it again, is
Yeah.
I help people learning the art of breath work and the
Mm,
powers of breath work, not
wow.
only in an emotional aspect, but a physical, mental, and it's a beautiful thing for better brain function as
Mhm.
we age. It's a beautiful thing for oxygenation for our bodies, for calming our heart rates. How beautiful it is breath work. You have high blood pressure, you have your stress levels up there. Let's start breathing. Let's
Mm,
practice different breathing techniques.
mm,
So, and I promise everybody, because it's the truth, that
mm,
your
mm,
heart
mm,
rate will
mm.
go down, that it'll
Mhm.
help you with lowering your blood pressure. It'll help
Yeah.
you with de-stressing. It'll help
Mhm.
you with even
Mhm.
creating new ideas. And definitely it
Mhm.
will help you with better quality of life. And this you take for the rest of your natural life. You can
Right.
do it anywhere. You can do it everywhere. You can do it in your car. You can do it in the train. You can do it as you're
Mhm.
working out. You can do it as you're listening to a meeting that is boring for you. So how
Right.
beautiful is that? How beautiful is it's a beautiful thing. Definitely, that's
Yeah.
one of the first things that I recommend to my clients, and definitely going into if my clients they believe in the power of prayer. I highly recommend a prayer, but a prayer that is not coming from a book, that you're not reciting a
Mhm.
prayer. That's not real prayer. That is reciting a
Mhm.
prayer. To
Right.
me, a prayer is the one that comes from the deepest of your heart and the deepest of your
Mhm.
soul.
Mhm.
Exercising gratitude. When we
Mhm.
exercise gratitude for the simplest things we have in life,
Mhm.
are I mean, we see life with a different lens. That is for sure. I am grateful, and yes, I ask my clients, what are the five things that you're grateful for today? Out of the blue. Don't think about it, just say
Mhm.
it. How about being grateful for your fridge? How about being grateful for your phone? How about being grateful for the shoes you have on your feet? How about
Mhm.
being grateful for a running car?
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
mean, definitely exercising gratitude, it changes your perspective on many things in life, because when you have more time to be in gratitude, you will have less time to waste on things that bring you grief, and
Mhm.
it makes you angry. And last but not least, definitely some kind of meditation. No, meditation is not a religion. Meditation is a powerful practice that helps us, here we go again, with our body, mind,
Mhm.
and soul. There are meditation practices for anything that you want in life. All you need to do is go to YouTube University. You ask for what you want, okay? Oh, in any language that you want, any language that you
Mhm.
want in the world. If I want Spanish, I'll do a meditation in Spanish. If I feel in
Mhm.
English, I will do it in English. If I am
Mhm.
feeling overwhelmed because I have a test, there is a meditation for testing.
Mhm.
There's a meditation for resting. There's a meditation to fall asleep. It's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
Meditation is a beautiful thing. I have a great teacher and mentor that he says that prayer is talking to God and
Mhm.
meditation is listening to God.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think it's a beautiful thing, definitely. These are things that are totally harmless, but it
Mhm.
can benefit us in such a powerful way. And these are
Mhm.
things that we take for the rest of our lives with us.
Mhm.
Not only because the life coach is recommending them, it's because it's meant for a very powerful and long term
Mhm.
purpose, which is longevity, more
Mhm.
quality of life, living a healthier lifestyle,
Mhm.
loving your heart more in a
Mhm.
physical and emotional sense. I mean, the benefits are endless with
Mhm.
things that are as simple as breath work, meditation,
Mhm.
learning more about gratitude, and prayer.
Mhm. Yes, yes, I totally agree. I have a breathwork practice that I do every day. I do about 15 minutes. I try to get it in.
Mhm.
I do like many power breaths, and then I do air retention. With all the air out, I
Mm,
hold it, and then I breathe in and I hold that one too. I do
beautiful.
box breathing and all kinds of other things too.
Hmm. Love
And then
it.
the gratitude that like boosts your endorphins, man. You start just meditating on like, man, I have food to eat. Like,
Hmm.
I have a shelter. Man, your hair starts standing up and like the endorphins are like, it just
Exactly.
invigorates you. And then the
Absolutely.
meditation too, like, oh yeah, this is priceless.
Hmm.
Everyone should meditate. It's not a religion. No,
Hmm.
we usually recommend people to get their phone out and then put the timer on and then start with 1 minute, start with two
Exactly.
minutes, start with
Hmm.
5 minutes, whatever you put it down, get in a comfortable position, put the timer on, and then just start paying attention to your breath. And
Exactly.
then there goes the breath again, because the basic the basic thought behind Buddhism, and meditation is just pay attention to your breath. That's the first thing
Hmm.
they tell you. They don't tell you, "Oh, start thinking about, these colorful things or beautiful." No,
Right.
just start just paying attention to the breath going out and into your body,
Hmm.
and it calms the monkey mind, and there's so many benefits. My day is better. I'm more happier. Like things don't bother me. Like, oh man, it just goes on and on. I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So many benefits. Well,
Hmm.
man, you've laid down so much information. It's incredible, man. Thank you so much. I
Oh, thank
appreciate
you.
you big time. Thank you for your time and everything. And um, I know that people can find you. They have your book there. I'll leave it in the show notes, and they have also the website. But if
Mhm.
people want to reach out to you directly, how would they be able to do that?
You can do that through my website, www.woundedhealer.us. All my information is there. My email, my phone number, call me, text me. I am here to help. I am here to support you, no matter what age we are.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. And the last question, what is the vision of the future for Wounded Healers?
The vision of the future for this wounded healer is to keep on doing this work as long as I have breath in my lungs. I see this journey as a one that is for the rest of my natural life, and it's a journey of growth, and
Mm,
definitely growing with your clients and for your clients and for yourself makes everything better in this world. And definitely joining this beautiful podcast that you have, it gives
mm,
me even more of a reason to keep on doing what I do for many things for many years to come. So I'm very grateful
mm.
to be here.
Beautiful. Amen. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much. I'm
you.
just going to put you backstage for a moment, and I'm going to close the show. My daughter's in the background, as you can
I
see.
know, she's
And
adorable.
yeah, there you have it, guys. Thank you for another one right there. And just stay tuned for the next one. Thank you.